Hi guys, today I'd like to talk a little bit about the dependency trap to authenticity and how our reliance on other things can make it difficult for us to rely on ourselves. How it can lead us to feel inadequate, even though we may not be, and how this all links up to our search for understanding. Now, authenticity, a true expression of yourself, requires a lot of things. One of them, of course, is self-reliance. We have to know that we're adequate. We can make it in this world if we are ourselves, if we are true beings. We cannot believe we're adequate if we depend on other things, or people, or sensations. There are tons of dependency, and some level of dependency is essential to being alive. We depend on food, depend on water. To some extent, we do depend on love, belonging, but there's a healthy dependence and there's an unhealthy dependence. Dependence becomes unhealthy when it gets to the point where it begins to restrict your ability to free thoughts and free feelings. When you begin to delve into those areas, you're in a danger zone. You begin to change yourself, you restrict yourself, you're in shambles. Dependency is a spectrum. There are so many different types. Things that you wouldn't even consider dependency can be dependency. It's not just chemical dependency or codependency. There's so many types. The first type of dependency is codependency. The main type of codependency is the dependency on the approval. When you want other people to believe that you believe. You need this approval because you want to belong, you want to fit in, you want to conform. We all want that. We all want to be accepted into the society. We all want to know that we're doing good and being, getting feedback that other people believe you're doing good. So other people believe that you're doing benevolence in their minds. I mean, it's encouraging. It's something we all may be tempted to want. But it can get to an extreme. And that extreme we see over and over and over. Groupthink. When you're in a group and everyone's ideas are just pushing on you and you begin to think how they think. When it gets to the point where it's, I have to be this way, I have to conform, I have to be how they are. When it gets to the point where you're no longer choosing your actions, but someone else is choosing your actions. The infamous peer pressure we tell children about. I think that a lot of adults need to read that. A lot of adults are probably under more peer pressure than maybe in the world. Alright, another type of cultural dependency is when you depend on connection. We all need to be connected. We all have that dependency by nature. We all want to be authentic and genuine in order to form true connection. But when you're no longer genuine, or when your need for connection is to the point where you can't be genuine, when you're to the point where, the group thinks the conformity you're getting into, then you got a problem. That's expressed in a lot of ways. It can be expressed in, controlling relationships, when the other person just getting to the point where it's an obsessive love, where you really are no longer expressing yourself, but you're pulling the other person down, or the opposite. You're allowing the other person to hold you down because you feel like you need to be submitted, you need to be controlled, because if you are next to someone, or if your identity becomes being that person's girlfriend, or being that person's friend, it's something, and it's going to replace you, and it's going to replace your authenticity. You can't breathe without relying if you're relying on that, man. Also comes into play with attention. You feel like, I think a lot of people go out there, and we all, want to be known in the world and form genuine connections, but it can get to a point where you're trying to just for attention. when you're just doing something just because you want that feedback. And that's not healthy at all. Sometimes we see it in drama or false emotions. And false emotion, projected emotion, manufactured emotion is the enemy of free feeling. Because you cannot feel if you're trying to force yourself to feel. Feeling emotion is not something that can be tamed. It's not something that should be tamed. You don't manufacture it. You don't create your own emotion in a way that will manipulate. It doesn't work that way. It's just like saying Hitler is the Antichrist because dog equals war. It doesn't make sense. You can't manufacture thought that doesn't reason. You can't manufacture emotion that doesn't play out. So those are the types of social dependency. The next is sensation. We can be dependent on different sensations. It can be as simple as, a buzz, feeling high. It can be as simple as food, eating, sensation of that. It can be as simple or complex as the need to live in a constant crisis. You need that high energy. You need to feel like nothing's right or you can't pull yourself through anymore. It can be sorry, I'm a little off there. It can be gambling. You need to keep doing that chance. It can be arguing. You feel angry to react. But the thing is that it's not necessarily the exact object you're dependent on, the sensation. Talk a little bit. It's the mindset it gives you. And mindsets are very good. Every mindsets are our freedom. We can change our minds. Our minds are ours. And it's okay to be dependent on mindsets. But it's not okay to use outside things to change our mindsets constantly. Become dependent on those. Because we have to find ways to change our own minds. Through thought. Through emotion, through experience, sometimes through meditation, sometimes through just reflection, just taking a moment to take a breath and say, alright, this is what's going on. When a person is fully self-reliant, they'll still struggle with dependency. We all will. Because we have limitations. But to be self-reliant, person must accept their limitations and stop comparing themselves. Stop thinking about low self-esteem. We cannot compare ourselves to people. Everyone is reasonable. It's not logical to compare yourself. You can go through it over and over again, but it's not going to work out because everyone is so individual and everyone has potential. Everyone can everyone can struggle, understand, everyone can build relationships that are meaningful, everyone can do good in the world in their own perspective. But everyone's individuality, everyone's different goals, everyone's different assets, so scattered that you cannot compare. You cannot say, okay, this person has an IQ of 159 and they have an IQ of 190 and that person's better, or this person is this thin and born. It doesn't work that way, because they're just having things, and you can't compare yourself. I don't believe self-esteem is any place at all in this world. It's an evil. Because we cannot say, I'm better than someone else. You cannot say you're worse than someone else, and it just causes harm. We just end up separating ourselves. We just end up pulling away because of nothing. So when you can get away from that self-esteem and just say, I'm adequate. That's all I need to be. I just need to be adequate. And say, I don't have a dependency on anything. You can and say, I'm going to control myself. I'm going to be the one in control. I'm going to take responsibility for my own actions. I'm going to make my own choices. Not going to blame. I'm not going to try to control other things. I'm not going to try to use control to find a false sort of meaning. But I'm going to actualize my understanding of the world and my perception, build relationships, to progress. Then you got something. And only then can you begin to move towards greater understanding. Thank you.